7 o'clock, we'll call the meeting to order. Roll call. Chisman.
Present.
Benge.
Present.
Smith.
Present.
VanDorin. Cope.
Present.
All right. I will take a motion to approve the agenda for this evening.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting.
Motion by Chisman.
I'll second.
Seconded by Benge. All in favor?
Aye.
No opposed. I will also take a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve consent agenda.
Motion by Benge.
Second.
Seconded by Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Okay, mayor's report. I apologize first for my attire this evening. Had to take my wife to Iowa City to a doctor's appointment and didn't get back in time. Had to meet with somebody, and so get sweatpants and t-shirt mayor today. Apologize for that. So as you guys can see, my notes are going to be kind of a little scattered today too. Gary's been out filling some of the potholes in town with gravel, just as kind of a temporary fix for us. Long, cold, hard winter, and the streets got tore up pretty bad, so just kind of doing what we can to get by right now. Our water usage, in the last month we fixed 2 water leaks in town, and we have been running extremely high, about 27,000 gallons, 26,000 daily. It's down to 10,000, correct? 10,000. Right around 10,000. So we think that a couple of those leaks might have, fixing those leaks really helped us out quite a bit. As far as the usage, what we're being billed for. This last week, Councilman Smith and myself attended the emergency management meeting for the Wapello County. It went really, really well. They were talking about they're applying for some grants. There may be a couple things that if they apply for it, could benefit the city a little bit, and we'll have more on that as they come. So as far as that goes, that's all I have for this month in my report. So I'm going to turn it over to Sheriff Phillips.
Thanks, Mayor.
Yeah.
So we're getting back to normal around there at the Sheriff's Office. We are currently got advertisement out. We're looking to hire 3 deputies. So if you are looking for a job, you know, we could use you. But we haven't replaced retired Sheriff Miller position yet, and the board okay is hiring a couple deputies. One of those deputies will be a school resource officer at Cardinal, and then we just entered into a contract with the agency, the city's agency also. It starts July 1st, so that's kind of what's going on with us. I think things have been, we've had 5 or 6 down at Davis County. We just brought them back last week because our numbers got down into the 80s. So we thought we could bring those folks back and not be getting charged $50 a day for each one of them. That's about it. Meetings the same. I seen you guys the other night at the emergency management meeting. Things are going well. So any concerns or questions from you guys?
Things going pretty good up here right now, so yep.
Can I ask, is one of them famous that you brought back?
Yeah, he was one we brought back from Davis County, yeah. He's in Wapello right now.
But school's gonna get out and ball players and ball games and stuff. Start watching out that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
keep an eye. I know there was a couple times out there were people driving excessively fast with the little kids and stuff going on. So I think some of those problems probably been rectified, but I mean, when you guys are in town watching, and we may hit you up here in a little bit when we're discussing one of these other things on the agenda tonight.
Okay.
Get your opinion on that when we get to it, if we can.
Sounds good.
That's where we need that speed wagon.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anything on that yet.
Okay, still nothing.
I will say I have seen a more presence here lately, and I think we all appreciate that.
Yep,
Sure.
definitely.
Good. Yeah, as soon as I know about the speed trailer, I'll let you know, so.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, Don.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Okay, any public comment this evening? Remember, this is limited to 2 minutes per person about items on the agenda.
That rules me out.
Okay, all right. No public comment. We'll move on to old business. Okay. Scheduling a public hearing for the building code changes. We've been talking about this and discussing it into the fall last year, and we've sent that to the attorney. It was I kind of took the 2005 ordinance and the 2017 ordinance, kind of took the good parts out of both of them and tried to mesh something together, sent it to the attorney. She gave us the green light to go forward with what we had. We can get that sent out, get it posted somewhere so everybody can see it. IMS proposed possibly April 29th as a special session for getting a public hearing on the building code scheduled. So I guess what I'm looking for would be a motion to approve April 29th as a special work session or special public hearing for the building code changes.
I'll make a motion to accept April 29th as a public hearing for the building code changes.
I'll second it.
Motion by Cope, seconded by Chisman. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? None opposed. Okay. We've had some discussion, had a concerned citizen coming in, vehicles coming into town from the south, driving excessively fast and getting up into their yard and everything. And we kind of got to talking about last year, at times, safety issues and maybe slowing people down and putting some stop signs up in some different places. Discussion with Councilman Cope here, a couple weeks ago, probably 2 or 3 weeks ago. Talked about maybe making the intersection down here possibly a 4-way stop, putting a stop sign as people come into town from the south down by the school, and perhaps maybe a couple out by the ball diamond and make that a 3-way stop. Just kind of wondering what everybody's thoughts would be on that. Don, do you have anything would you think that would be a...
Well, when you were talking about that right there, I think that, I guess I'm kind of in agreement with you, and it comes down to the enforcing of it, you know. Right there by the school, you're kind of getting a twofold thing there, because you got, when school's in and stuff, and traffic, there's probably pretty busy around there during the mornings and the afternoons, but I think your 3-way right there is probably a good idea, and wouldn't hurt to have another one here on the main drag, but, you know, again, it runs down to the, you know, enforcing it, you know. You know, I've sent something or said something to some of the guys. I don't know if they've had time to make it up here, if you guys have seen them. I know you said you'd seen them more here lately, but I didn't know if they, because I told them to sit on the other side of the bridge there and see if we can do some stationary radar, but I don't know if they've had time for that. So, I mean, those are good spots, but, you know.
There'd be a lot of people, and a lot of truckers are gonna start bitching.
You know, the trucks would be the one probably the most complaint.
Well, they're, you know, nothing against those guys, they're probably the ones that, you know, when they do those same routes over and over and over again, they get kind of, excuse me, kind of, I guess, carefree is how I would describe it. You know, and, you know, I've done construction and driven dump trucks, and you get just a little bit more easy on the safety of it. So I think that, you know, if you got those guys running up to Cargill, going through town, they probably take that route all the time and probably go too fast, you know. But I think the truckers are probably the safest bunch on the streets, most of them. But I, you know, it's...
That's what I know, the kind of where you live there on Main Street, I know at times you said in the morning kind of becomes a drag strip there at between like 5 and 7 o'clock in the morning.
And in the
People are heading to
afternoon.
work, and then in the afternoon when people getting off and heading south and going out of town, that it gets moving pretty quick over there. Coming down over the bridge, I know is another spot where people just come flying up over the bridge. And with the, like Larry said, kids getting out of school and stuff, and there'll be kids out on bicycles and everything, and just something that we kind of wanted to discuss and see, get the council's opinion as well as, because I haven't spoken to the county about that yet, this being a county street. I just kind of wanted to get everybody's opinion. If thought that was a good idea, something we should look into, we should just kind of leave it as it is.
I think we really need to talk to the county, because, you know, those flashing lights, the county put those up. And I couldn't find my copy of the 2080 agreement we have with them. and it may talk about signage in there.
Okay.
But, I mean, I'm not against the signs, I just think we should touch base with them and see
I'll call Parker in the morning.
who's got control over stop signs out there on that farm to market.
Because I know on other items, they always tell us that they just are concerned with what, the 22 feet?
I know
22 feet in the middle
last
of
year
the-
when I talked to the then current engineer, he said, might as well say out of the curb. I mean, it's yours. You can do what you want with it, so.
So it's just food for thought, something to think about. So here, as we get closer to summer, we want to just kind of keep an eye out too and see people come flying around. And like I said, Ace lives right there on the main drag, and so he said it's kind of a drag strip in the morning, so and the afternoon. So
I think I'm leaning toward trying it.
I asked Judy a question.
sure.
Judy,
Yeah,
did the flashing light help some, a lot, or?
yes, it did. There are still some that just run it, but it has really helped up there. Very much so.
It's made a big difference since we had that accident about a year and a half ago. Somebody came flying through about 70 and hit the old back building, the laundromat now.
Well, that's because the police.
The light went in after that, but it made a big difference because you could sit there and
He
count a
was,
dozen
he
of
was
them.
running from the law. It wasn't
Right.
just because
Well, we
of
didn't
him.
know that, but
Yeah.
the sign was still there, but it wasn't blinking
Yeah.
at the time, it was lighting on it.
The worst place is coming over the bridge. I live in them apartments, and I'm telling you, they come over there and
They're
they gun it
flying.
coming down the road there.
So that will be something that we'll look into and do a little more research, and we'll look into seeing about getting some more stop signs up, making the town a little safer.
And the worst ones are UPS and the school bus drivers.
Yeah,
I've seen a couple come in pretty good.
yeah. Okay, well, we'll go ahead and we'll move on. Resolution 19.4.8.1. Approve city and superintendent job description. I ran home and I grabbed my packet and I left it sitting in the office. I have been. There was some things that we felt unnecessary, kind of took out of this. So we kind of streamlined it, made it more poignant to what we need here in Blakesburg for that description. The one that we had, the description we had before, it almost seemed like it was for a much bigger city, but it had a lot more the duties for the superintendent position. This, read through it, has streamlined it down to where it's just what we need here in Blakesburg for that job. So, right now, is there any questions, discussion about the job description? It's pretty well cut and dry, I thought, for the most part. So if there's no discussion, I will take a motion to approve Resolution 19.4.8.1.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 19.4.8.1, city superintendent job description.
Motion by Chisman,
Second.
seconded by Smith. Roll call, Chisman,
Aye.
Benge,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
VanDorin, absent, Cope.
Aye.
Okay. Resolution passes. Okay, we are now to Resolution 19.4.8.2, transfer of funds. We will be transferring $7,500 from the local option sales tax to the general fund, $2,500 from general government to park, and $1,200 from sewer fee to sewer utility. Ina's got the, just, yeah, right here. There we go, yep. Yep. Whereas Blakesburg City Council approved transfer of various funds lost to general fund, $7,500, general governmental to parks and ballpark, $2,500, sewer fee to sewer utility, $1,200. I will take a motion to pass resolution 19.4.8.2.
I make a motion that we pass resolution 19.4.8.2.
Motion by Coe,
I'll second it.
seconded by Chisman. Roll call, Chisman,
Aye.
Benge,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
VanDorin is absent, Coe.
Aye.
Okay. Resolution passes. Okay, moving on to new business. I think I see we got somebody from the garden club here today. Would you like to get up and introduce yourself to the council and everybody and tell us what we got to do here?
I'm Wanda Robinson, and I'm the president of the Garden Club. And I wanted, on behalf of the Garden Club, I wish to request permission to put a memorial in the park for Mary McEnroe. And we thought maybe for Cynthia bushes like this, if they grow, but they grow 9 to 11 feet tall if they are not maintained. But we thought where you remove the hedges, that would be a good place for them. But the reason we suggested for Cynthia was because Mary had one in her yard, and every spring when it bloomed, she would invite us out to her place for a luncheon and show us her plants she had. And but it will bloom yellow in the spring, and then in the summer the leaves turn green and there's no bloom on them, just in the spring. But we thought it'd make a good border, and but if you think you would rather have us plant something else, like a tree in the park for shade, we were thinking a red maple or something like that, where you lost all your trees in the park. But we just got money from the family, and we want to put a memorial in the park for her if we could.
Yep, and I know we approved the tree last year, but as long as these are maintained, I don't have a problem with those bushes. I don't think you guys, does anybody?
Only question I've got is, and I'm all for them, okay, along the alley, are they gonna be like a solid wall?
Yeah, it'll
Okay.
be, yeah, they
Because
would be like,
before, we were a little concerned, those little entryways, especially corn kids garden out in the alley, but if it's
Yeah.
like a fence, I don't.
well,
I
if
don't
they
think
said,
that's-
well, let's see, let me read this. It says that it's like a hedge, and it makes good border and good, like a good fence, so.
Okay, she's my
But
third
they
grade
would,
teacher.
the problem with them is they would have to be maintained, and my garden people are all 80 and older, including me. So, so we have to find somebody that could maintain them. But I also went to Ogles today, and Mike Ogle told me that the forsythia is fine, but you do need maintenance for them, because otherwise they'll grow 9 to 11 feet tall, and he said, I don't think the city would want that, you know. So, but we was thinking a red maple if you wanted to plant in the park, you know, as a shade tree or something.
You should probably get these cheaper than the maple right now, but maybe later.
A maple, he said the maple tree would run the garden club between $109 and $120.
I thought that's about what Grandpa's tree was.
And then he said that he would plant it and give it a year
40.
warranty, and then we could, he would, if it died, well, he would take it out and replant another one. Yes, ma'am.
Several years ago, I went to a seminar at the extension in Oskaloosa, and the person that gave it, they're recommending not doing maples. They talked about coffee tree and some different things, because they're afraid the maples are going to go the route of everything else. Those are beautiful trees, but for longevity, it might be.
Well, we just, you know, whatever you guys wish, we will plant whatever you want. We just want a memorial for her, you know.
We don't care.
Hold on, Chuck.
We just lost 2
I
maples.
might have read an article similar to what Bob, the article I read, there was, I wish I could remember some of them, there was 9 or 10 trees that they were suggesting
Yeah.
at this point in time lay in.
Get some diversity.
That'd hang in there pretty good, but I can't remember what they were now.
I kind of like the idea of the bushes, to be honest with you. I think that'd be, and so if that
And the
would,
bush is cheaper. I can get the bushes for like $25 and he will plant them for 30. And if they die out, he will come and replant them in 1 year, you know, so.
with us taking those out last year, we kind of do need something there to border the alley. So, I mean, I guess my recommendation would be that maybe we ask the ladies if they could, if they wanted to plant the bushes.
And if you're gonna call your nephew to trim them, make it one of
Yeah,
your
we'll
other
call
nephews.
Chuck and Brian to trim them for us. They do all our watering in the park, so.
We've got a pretty good volunteer group, if that ever becomes an issue,
Yeah.
I'd help you guys too with that, so. Just,
But we just, you know, it's whatever you people wish us to do, but we just would like to put something for Marion. The family donated the money and we've holded it for a year, and now we'd like to try and do something this spring if we can.
I'd rather see the bushes.
you too?
I think, yeah, I kind of messed that hedge,
Want
to be
to
honest.
bush alongside?
Let's go to the bushes.
I will entertain a motion to approve the garden club to plant forsythia hedge along the east side of the park.
I'll make a motion to let the garden, I'm not gonna try to pronounce it,
Motion by Chisman,
the hedge.
Second.
seconded by Benge, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And thank you, Jason, for letting us present it.
Anytime, Wanda. Yep, thanks for coming up. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all the work you do in the park, and I appreciate Chuck and Brian keeping everything watered and helping out up there as well, so thank you
Well,
guys.
they're a godsend to us women, I'm telling you. We're all getting up there and we're trying to find younger people to join Garden Club, but nobody comes forward, you know, but.
See what we can do. We'll get the word out maybe and see if we can.
Well, I
get
had
you
ads everywhere, and at Corn Carnival, I put a big sign up, please sign up. I just can't get any people to bite, you know. But I don't think younger people like yard work and garden work.
Sometimes hard work, sometimes
Too much
that work.
outside work.
Yeah, well, work can be a 4-letter word to them youngins every once in a while. So.
Yeah, they don't want to plant a garden and they don't want to plant flowers, you know, so.
Yeah. Well, thanks again for coming up. This was on one of the leaks that we had. What's the street name?
Bluegrass.
Okay, right off Bluegrass Road, still in the city limits there. We had to go down and fix curb stop because it was a terrible water leak. We were leaking a lot of money. So we've done this, I think last year with mowing and a couple other things, so just, yeah.
Is that a property in a tax situation now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So we possibly may have to wait a while to get our money, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it had to be done again. That was one of the things that we had to do.
$5,000 back taxes on it.
Yeah, it's pretty high. I mean, it's gotten pretty high, so. Do I need to read that? Okay. Whereas the Blakesburg City Council approved utility expenses of repair to curb stop and water loss at 24616 Bluegrass Road, Blakesburg, Iowa, to be certified to Wapello County Treasurer's Office. So I would entertain a motion to pass resolution 19.4.8.3.
I will give you that motion on resolution 19.4.8.3, certified curb stop repair bill.
Motion by Smith,
I'll second that.
seconded by Cope. Roll call. Chisman,
Aye.
Benge,
Aye.
Smith,
Aye.
VanDorin, Cope.
Aye.
All right. Resolution passes. Okay. We have a budget amendment coming up. I think you guys saw that in your packet. This would be to publish that, correct? To get it in the paper to make sure we get everything in on time for fiscal year 2018-2019 budget.
Make motions. have the public meeting, budget hearing meeting, amendment on April 29th at 7 p.m.
Yep, that'll coincide with the other meeting or special session. So, motion by Benge,
I'll second that.
seconded by Cope. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
This is just a special meeting.
Okay, because we will have, those two will be two public hearings. So now, Article D here would be to schedule a special meeting following the hearings on April 29th. So I need a motion to schedule a special meeting after the two public hearings on April 29th.
I make a motion that we schedule the special meeting following the hearings.
Motion by Cope,
I'll second that.
seconded by Benge. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Pack your bags for April 29th, Joe. Could be here a while, but we got lots of stuff to do. That's good. Interviews for city superintendent, April 9th, special meeting, closed session. This is what we did when I kind of forgot, when we hired our clerk position. We just had it as a special session meeting, had the council there. This is what we kind of discussed last month, was to have this April 9th, which is tomorrow. We have 2 applicants to interview. So I guess I need a motion to approve the special meeting and closed session for tomorrow night, April 9th.
I'll make a motion that we have a special meeting and closed session on April 9th. Discuss interviews for new city superintendent.
I'll second that.
Motion by Chisman, seconded by Cope. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
That's the
We have to,
That is good.
we have to just spell out some things in our posting, don't we? What sections it's under to go into closed session.
I have a copy of the agenda and I don't remember if that was
Well, I know when we had a previous instance, we had to make sure.
It is vote to go into closed session pursuant to Iowa Code 21.5, Section 1, Section I. So, yeah.
That's one of the few places a councilman can actually be fined if you go into a closed session improperly.
Yep, but that was, yep, that's the word of the way it needs to be worded.
As long as we're dotting our i's and crossing our t's.
Right on, absolutely. Okay. So that'll be tomorrow night. We'll come in here, we'll approve the agenda, and then we'll vote to go into the closed session to interview the applicants. So, and those have to be recorded and all that. We've got got the recorder and the batteries charged up, so we're ready to go for the interview. Okay, spring cleanup day. Oh, yes, I did. Sorry. We need to schedule a special council meeting to hire the city superintendent, April 15th. We wanted to get him in to work with Gary so we could learn where the water meters and everything was everywhere. This was the timeline we laid out at last month's meeting, so I need a motion to approve a special council meeting to hire city superintendent on April 15th.
You don't want to do that on the 29th?
Yeah, that one is the one on the 29th, right? Yeah,
I make a motion to do it on April 15th.
okay. Motion by Cope,
Second.
seconded by Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay, now, spring cleanup day. I crossed that one off before. Last year we did cleanup day twice. We did one in June and one in September, and they both went really, really well. The one in June, I'd like to do it in June again. I meant to, and I dropped the ball again, check on when the last day of school was, because I know they won't let us put the dumpsters down there while school is in session, but
Can we just put them at the fire department like we did?
we can check with them. There's a fire board meeting Wednesday night. We can check with them while we're out there. And they went really well out there too. I thought that was real nice. Kind of located in a good spot. So do we want to set it for like the middle of June like we did last year? So,
We want to gather some information. We've got a couple meetings coming up here.
that's true, and we just nail it down officially on the 29th.
If we do it out there, we don't have to wait for school to be out.
That's true, we could do it earlier, that's true.
Technically, we should ask them before we get too far down the road.
So
shouldn't
we
we?
can ask them Wednesday.
We'll ask them Wednesday and we'll see about doing that maybe, and then we can decide on an official date, nail down an official date on that special session on the 29th. I like it.
It's because that'll give us 3 weeks to get it out. If we have it in May, we'll give it 3 weeks or more to know it's coming.
May would be better.
You think? Yep, there'll be a little spring cleanup, yeah, a little earlier in the year. So, okay, yeah, we'll talk to those guys and we'll see if we can get that done, so. Got the ball rolling there talking about spring cleanup days, so we will, get that done. Resolution 19.4.8.4, Central Tank Water Tower Maintenance. We have been in discussions off and on over the last year about the maintenance at the water tower. It's a contract we had with McGuire Iron has elapsed. They sent us a bid, and it was, we come in, I thought rather high, so we contacted Central Tank out of Elgin, Iowa to come in and give us an estimate. I met with, I'm drawing a blank now, Jake, I believe his first name was Jake, great guy, nice guy, come in, gave us an estimate. Councilman VanDorin went with me, actually talked him into another cleaning on the schedule, that no extra charge. So it's very, very similar into what we're getting that we would have got from McGuire, only it's $600 a year cheaper. They said anything we need, they would be down. Councilman Benge was with us too and talked to him a little bit. They did include an exterior painting at some point over the next 6 years as well. He said it looked pretty good now, but he says you give it 3 or 4 years, he goes, we might want them to touch that up. Every other year there will be a clean out the interior and expect the interior and exterior. And this will get us locked into long after I'm not sitting in this chair more than likely, but it'll be something that, like I said, we kicked it around and wanted to know what we needed, how often we needed it. This guy was a straight shooter. My recommendation would be to approve Central Tank to do the work for us. Any questions, comments? We had both of the bids there for you guys to look at, kind of side by side.
Let's save the money.
That's what I'm saying. I'm looking at it. So if there's no other discussion about that, I'll take a motion.
Motion to accept resolution 19.4.8.4 for Central Tank water maintenance.
Motion by Benge,
Second.
seconded by Smith. Roll call. Chisman,
Aye.
Benge,
Aye.
Smith, VanDorin, absent, vote.
Aye.
All right. Gentlemen?
Okay. I make motion that we got one. Nothing else?
Nothing else.
Make motion to adjourn.
Larry Benge makes a motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Chisman. All in favor?
You're supposed to ask if anybody has any personal problems.